Good evening everybody, Car Biker here. On a lovely sunny Wednesday evening, I'm off to Seaways, meeting up with Chris and Jamie first, and we're off to the bike night. I'm not sure of the route we're taking, but I have an idea if nobody else does, which would just be a nice 35-mile trip, without the risk, like the last time, of finding a road that's been closed off to a farm. Still not sure if that's actually supposed to be closed or not, or if the farmer's having a laugh. Because it's a sunny evening and it's been a sunny day, that's reminded me that it's been a year, a little bit more than a year, since I got my solar panels installed on the house. And I've had a few people ask me about them, and at the time I said after a year I'll give you a bit of feedback about how they've done. If all you want to know is how much money they've made or saved, then I'll have a look below. There'll be a timestamp for that and you can jump straight to it. But before I get to that, I thought I'd just tell you about my experience with them. I won't go over the experience of getting them installed. That was a pain in the backside, which you can find out about in my previous video about it. I'll put a link to that in the corner. But how they've actually been. And it's been interesting. I am a kind of technical person, apart from on vehicles where I don't want the technology. I love the technology. And it's been fascinating watching it. There's a little app, you can see everything that it's doing, so you can see when it's generating electricity, when it isn't. You can see when it's filling up the battery and when it's not. If you're not going to go back and look at the previous video to see what the system is, basically it's 6 panels on the roof, because that's all that would fit. They are quite big ones. I think they're 435 watt panels, and then I've got a 5 kilowatt hour battery for storage. So basically, if the sun is shining, the solar panels start delivering electricity to the house. The system monitors that electricity and the electricity usage in the house, and if any electricity starts to flow out back to the grid, then it goes to the battery first. Once the battery's full, it starts going to the grid, all the excess. That is, in a nutshell, the system. There's a little app, you can watch what it's doing, see if it's charging the battery, discharging the battery, powering the house, not generating electricity, all that kind of thing. In terms of the panels themselves, so there's 6 of them, 435 watts each, I think, which means that the maximum theoretical power they could generate would be about 2.6 kilowatts, just over 2.6 kilowatts, I think. Now there's a little bit gets lost in the wiring and the transfer into the house and all that kind of thing, and I live in the north of England, so we don't get the brightest of sun, so I never expected to see it generate 2.6, but I was pleasantly surprised that it will at a maximum generate 2.2. So that's what we'll actually see flowing into the house, and you can see the load that the house is generating at any one time, and you can see that if we're using 2.2 kilowatts, then on a sunny day the solar power is generating all of it and nothing is coming in from the grid at all, which is quite nice. Now I did kind of think that the 2.2 would only arrive in summer, and I believed a lot of what people said about the inefficiencies and the location and all that kind of thing. But actually, the 2.2, we've even seen it in winter. Just briefly in winter, because the amount of time you're generating for is less because the days are so much shorter. So in winter it's a lot less, but it has been enough on a few occasions to fill the battery up completely and export a little bit back to the grid, which is nice. We're now in spring, we're approaching the end of May as I record this. As usual, it'll go out a lot later than that. And we find it's generating quite a lot, quite a lot indeed. If it's not a cloudy day, it'll be at that 2.2 kilowatt generation for quite a few hours of the day. In summer, lots and lots of hours. I think on the best day that we've had, we generated over 20 kilowatt hours of power in a day, filled up the battery, powered the house, and still exported 17 kilowatt hours to the grid. So generating quite a bit. And then autumn is like spring, and then we're back to winter again. Over the first year that we've had the system, because I wanted to get a full year in to see what it's going to do over a full year, kind of take the seasons out of it, we've generated over 2.6 megawatt hours of electricity. If we round that to 2,600 kilowatt hours, or 2,600 units, because a unit in the UK is a kilowatt hour, we've saved, or rather we've generated 2,600 kilowatt hours. Our electricity is about 25 pence per kilowatt hour, so we've generated about £650 worth of electricity, which is a little bit more, I think. I can't quite remember, my memory is awful, but it's a little bit more, I think, than 10% of what the system costs to install. Now, we can't really credit the entire £650 because of that 2.6 megawatt hours, we've exported quite a bit, and you don't get the full 25p when you're exporting, but 12p, I suppose, you know, I mean, for the free electricity, with the 12p is an added benefit for the stuff that I can't use myself and I can't store for later. So when you work it out, roughly speaking, we've saved about £600 over that first year. So that's not too bad. The equipment to install was something like £6,500. I can't remember if it was 6,400 or 6,800. But so if we're talking £600, because the electricity price has come down quite a bit since the peak, when I was first thinking about getting this thing done, then we're talking 10 to 11 years for it to pay for itself and start making a profit. The equipment's guaranteed for 25 years, so it is going to pay for itself and make a profit. So yeah, I think it's been a good investment. It will take a few years to pay for itself, but you know, it will, and then we'll make a little bit of profit and see our electricity bills coming down. We have actually saved a bit of gas with it as well, believe it or not. When we first got the system, it took about I think it was 4 or 5 weeks before they actually got us on the export tariff, so we wouldn't get paid for anything we exported. That would just be wasted. So we started turning the immersion heater on to heat up the hot water, something you'd not normally do, but if the electricity is free, you might as well. I do find myself kind of developed a strange psychological affliction in that I want to check on what it's doing all of the time, and I now curse the clouds for getting in the way of the sun. But to be fair, I don't really do much with it. I just check it, look at it, see how it's doing, think that's nice, or oh, shame it's not a bit sunnier. It does really just take care of itself. If you just ignore it, then I suppose you could be slightly less efficient than if you do react to it. But if I did get to a point where I was just ignoring it, it wouldn't make a huge amount of difference. The difference it does make is I'll check it around lunchtime every day, especially this time of year. In fact, when we get to summer, it'll be earlier than that, to see if the battery's full, because usually the battery is full by midday. This time of year, in winter, what would happen is the battery would occasionally fill completely, and sometimes it wouldn't fill completely, and by morning it would be down to its minimum, because it won't go below 5% battery fill, so it'll be down to 5% or a little bit above that. This time of year, get up in the morning, it's already 60% full, so you know, it could easily be full by mid-morning on a sunny day. So what happens then is the system will start exporting, and rather than let it, I'll go and put the washing machine on, or the dishwasher. So rather than putting the dishwasher on a night where it'll use some of the battery if the sun's gone down, we'll leave the battery charged and wait until the morning when the sun's shining, then put the dishwasher on and maybe put the washing machine on. Sometimes cook something, stick something in the air fryer, something like that, but use something that's high powered that we would do anyway, but we're doing for free. So it does make a difference. We have seen a dramatic difference in the bills, which when I totted it up and saw it was £600 worth of electricity, it actually surprised me a little bit, because I I thought our bills had got lower than that. But our electricity bill for April this year was only about £25. And then I think back to when Russia invaded Ukraine and the prices all went up, and we were paying, £150 a month. So the big difference obviously is the price of electricity has come down, but then adding into it the effect of the solar panels has made our spring, summer and autumn bills very low indeed. So people have asked me, would you recommend it? I would say if you are going to stay in your house for at least 10 years, I absolutely would. Would I recommend the battery? I don't know. I don't know if the battery definitely helps you save, but the battery itself is about £2,000, so I'm not sure if actually without the battery we might have been in a better position in terms of the payoff. But then we probably wouldn't have been in a better position later on for how much extra we would have got once it's all paid off. So, swings and roundabouts, isn't it? Anyway, I'm here at Bainton. Here's Chris's bike. Here's Chris. So I'll wrap this one up. Say thanks for watching. Ride safe. And I'll talk to you all again soon. And I'll now wait for Jamie.